NBA free agency is heating up right now as moves are being made like crazy at the moment, with multiple teams making huge signings for their teams. And now we have even just seen another one happen, as just now Brook Lopez has agreed to a 2-year, $18 million deal with the Los Angeles Clippers, as moves do not stop right now. However, the New York Knicks and a few other teams are yet to get started. However, Knicks signing is imminent, as all signs are pointing to none other than Jordan Clarkson getting a deal with the New York Knicks today. It was reported, I need to change my light, I look a little insane right now. It was reported that the New York Knicks love Jordan Clarkson, and the Knicks are at the top of Jordan Clarkson's list right now for all the teams. Once he clears waivers, the Knicks will be able to sign Clarkson, so they're waiting for that, which is why that deal is yet to go down. However, it is widely reported that that is going to be a deal for the Knicks. I would be absolutely jaw-dropped if the Knicks did not end up with Jordan Clarkson. However, because of all this going down, because him being on waivers, this could take a little bit longer than other signings. And the Knicks, they are still able to do minimum deals. So right now, what we have to be looking for is the Jordan Clarkson deal. However, again, that's affected by waivers. And on top of that, what we also will be looking for is other deals to be made by the Knicks. Minimum contracts that do have a huge impact on this team moving forwards. What's up, guys? Welcome back. Little random live stream. I decided to do that towards the end of the video that I just released on the Jordan Clarkson stuff. Make sure to check that one out. Figured I'd go live for 30 minutes, see what deals go down, hang out with you guys, wait and see if we can catch a deal live before I do end up eventually. At some point, I have to eat food today, but you know, it's a pretty interesting day. We got a bunch of New York Knicks news going down, and hope we hire Taylor Jenkins. He's not. You're not a fan of Mike Brown. Sean Johnson, I'm not a fan of Mike Brown. I'm not a fan of Mike Brown. I don't think the Mike Brown stuff makes sense. He's good for a year, but he has holes and blind spots. And some deals come down. We've seen this stuff already start to happen. So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes from here right now. Now, obviously, things are getting very, very, very intense for the New York Knicks. There's going to be deals that happen. There's going to continue to be deals that happen. And they are going to make a few because they do have these open roster spots after all. And that is something that's going to play a factor into everything here. And with all that in mind, we just changed the Wi-Fi. Hopefully that'll help the lagging. So, sorry about that little lack of connection right now. Of course, perfect timing as usual for the lag to hit. But look, with the Knicks, with everything that's going down for this team right now, I do think a move is going to happen today. Whether that's the Jordan Clarkson signing or something else, we know they have a ton of interest in Russell Westbrook. That has not changed at all thus far. So we very likely still will see Russell Westbrook end up getting moved to somewhere. With the Sacramento Kings signing Dennis Schroeder, that's no longer an option. So what we're coming down to is it feels like for Russ, he only has so many choices left. He could end up going back to Denver still, but it felt like the Kings and the Knicks were the two teams that were the highest on Russ, and now with the Kings being out, or just a lot less interested because now they have Dennis Schroeder for a longer extended period of time, we're going to see multiple moves go down in regards to this. Now, look, who do you guys want in free agency? The last move we saw was 4 months ago with none other than Brook Lopez. We obviously, Theo Pinson just said that he thinks LeBron is going to be leaving LA because the Lakers have had an absolute comedy offseason thus far. And look, there's a lot of stuff going down as I scroll through Twitter and try to talk at the same time. But the Brooks losing the Bucks. The Brooks losing Brook Lopez. The Bucks losing Brook Lopez. That does have an impact on Giannis. Giannis loves Brook Lopez. They are very close. Brook will now be finishing his career with another team. That is going to have an impact on Lopez going forwards and on Giannis going forwards. It's not a done deal that Giannis is staying in Milwaukee at all. Who do you think we end up with as our coach? I fully expect it to be Mike Brown at this point. I don't want it to be Mike Brown at all. I don't like Mike Brown that much as a head coach. I think he's an excellent assistant coach. I don't love him as a head coach. So I do think there is some fear there to Mike Brown being this team's head coach. I think it's a matter of just they don't seem as enamored with Taylor Jenkins, which sucks because I think Jenkins is an excellent coach. I just think Mike Brown's a swing and a miss for this team right now. So I am worried about that. It's why Mike Brown's in the thumbnail of this, because I do expect him to be the head coach. I think with all these moves happening for Boston, we will see Al Horford stick around with that team and run out his final year or two in the NBA before things really take a turn. Obviously, we are at the 3-year anniversary of Jalen Brunson changing the Knicks franchise forever. D'Angelo Russell went to the Mavericks, as we know. And it really feels like right now we're waiting on a Jordan Clarkson move because the Knicks have to decide if he's getting the mid-level exception or not. That's what things feel like right now for the Knicks. I think it's less about the coach. Word is Clarkson to the Knicks is a lock. Emoni Bates is an unrestricted free agent. That'll be interesting. Someone will likely pick him up. Jordan Clarkson, Chris Boucher, Ball, and Gary Trent Jr. I truly don't believe all those guys are going to be on minimum deals. I think they definitely like Boucher a lot, like a whole lot. I wouldn't be shocked if we see Boucher end up in New York. I think he has... I would guess Chris Boucher and Larry Nance are both heavily targeted by the Knicks right now. And, like, this is what it feels like. They're going to be going for a guy who could sort of replace Precious in the sense of being a forward who can play center or power forward. Larry Nance does that very well. Chris Boucher does that very well. I would rather Larry Nance. I think he's better. I think he's a nice rim-running veteran who's got a very good mid-range shot, a good three-point shot, can work the pick and pop well, can switch on to a few different positions defensively, is good at cutting. The Knicks could use another cutter. I think that Larry Nance Jr. fits this team well. I would love to see him as a lob threat for the Knicks. The Knicks do need to start throwing more lobs. It feels like Brunson's a bit more comfortable doing that as of recently. Good playmaker off the bench, I'm cool with. Yeah, I like the idea of Clarkson. I also don't hate the idea of Chris Paul, but I don't think he's going to go to the Knicks. My expectation is that Chris Paul probably ends up signing with the Clippers or maybe runs it back with the Suns one more time. Those are the two finalists, it seems like. The Nuggets got Cam Johnson and Bruce Brown, and ESPN's TV producers go, yo, can you guys do a second Lakers segment? Good tweet from Bill Simmons right there. It's becoming very interesting, this free agency. I mean, the Rockets have 76 guys for offensive rebounding. That's going to be scary. So, that will be interesting. I do think LeBron should request a trade. I don't think he would get traded to the Knicks. I don't think the Knicks care enough about LeBron requesting a trade to move Mikal and Josh and what would probably be Mitch for LeBron, Dalton, Connect, and Bronny. I just don't think it's happening. What about Nickeil Alexander-Walker? Dude, I would run the perimeter of Manhattan if the Knicks could bring in Nickeil Alexander-Walker on that 5.7 mid-level exception. I do not think he's signing for something that low. I do think he's going to get around that $12 million MLE, and because it's going to be available to them, because Bruce Brown is on that minimum deal, I do expect Nickeil Alexander-Walker to sign an MLE either with the Timberwolves or with the Denver Nuggets. Those are the two favorites I have for Alexander Walker right now. I think the Boston Celtics are a very sneaky team as well. We can't offer... I think we can't... I mean, we can give him an offer, don't get me wrong, but it's going to be so... He's going to get more than $5.7 million per year, so he's not going to take the offer. I think teams like... If I had to pick off the top of my head, random teams that will be going for Nickeil Alexander-Walker, obviously the Timberwolves, they'll try to retain him. I don't think the Thunder will go for him, even despite the obvious reasoning with him being cousins with Shea. I do think that we will see... I do think we'll see the Nuggets really make a push for him with that $14 million MLE they got, or not the full 4, it's like 11, something like that. On top of that, the Celtics have a little bit of financial freedom that they might try to get Alexander Walker if they can. The Hawks would likely go for Nickeil Alexander Walker. I think the Magic would not, with now having Desmond Bane. I could see not the Cavs, they don't have money. The Celtics, again, if they could finagle it. I really hope they interview Taylor Jenkins too. Yeah, Taylor Jenkins is the best option. He's without a doubt the best option of all the guys they've considered. I don't know why they're so enamored with Mike Brown. It sucks. It's stupid. It's bad. It'd be the first time I'm ever really having a really anti-Leon moment, if you ask me. My guess right now on Nickeil Alexander-Walker, I'm going to guess he signs with the Denver Nuggets on a 3-year deal with a player option on that 3rd year for an 11 or 12, whatever the top MLE option is. I do think that's what Alexander Walker will get. He'll go to a team in Denver that he fits in with beautifully, would become a very, very instant guy who can come in and give them huge minutes. Russell Westbrook might be interested enough in a team that can clearly contend, that he liked playing for and that he fitted in, to come back on a minimum deal as well, continuing to build up a great Denver Nuggets bench, something they struggled with last year. Bruce Brown is back off that bench. We're going to see a few different teams as well looking at that. So I don't think we would get Nickeil. I think there's going to be other teams with more money that care more, or not care more, I should say, but have the flexibility more to go out and get a Nickeil Alexander Walker. Personally, that's what I would expect. Now, I mean, I trust Leon to make the right decision as well, Sean. What I also do hope is, and this is the most wishful thinking thing ever, is that now the teams are kind of spending some MLEs, that what happens is the Knicks don't, and what we see come out is that the Knicks actually waited, and then all of a sudden Malik Beasley gets cleared, and the Knicks can sign him to a cheap deal. I would love that. I know that's wishful thinking, but this also feels pretty obvious that he was gambling based off all the evidence against him right now. So we will see that. If I stop and look down, I'm just checking my phone. Jenkins is by far the best option. He uses his bench. He's a young head coach. He makes adjustments on the fly. And unlike Mike Brown, he doesn't have clear blind spots when it comes to coaching in the playoffs. Mike Brown has clear blind spots when it comes to coaching in the playoffs. And that is an issue for this team that they need to rectify. So I would like to see that. I think that would make sense. I know some people they seem a bit worried about the fact that that Jordan Clarkson can be a shot chucker to a degree. A shot chucker to a degree. I think I just said jucker. That's not a word. But I do think that. Sorry again. I'm just looking for free agency updates, and I'm just seeing the dumbest posts on Twitter that have nothing to do with basketball, and I don't care. Sleeper Nick said, I want to make dinner, but guaranteed they sign someone the second I put my phone down. Might as well burn time because Leon Rose is... I don't think we got a sleepy Leon right now. I think he's up. Russell Westbrook was with Jordan Clarkson and Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson. They weren't all traveling together, but they did all go to Fashion Week in France. So maybe they saw each other like, hey, Knicks. This won't happen, but I'd love Clarkson and Kennard. I just put a video out on that and instantly went live after. A little fun inside YouTube fact. You're not really supposed to do that because it could mess up the views on the video, but there's so much stuff going on right now. I figured, you know what? Who cares? What do we got? What do we got from Michael Scotto? That's from this morning. That's nothing. NBA trade report. Nothing right there. All this stuff is too old. It don't matter right now. Knicks are close to a source with the Kings about a potential Malik Monk acquisition with Mike Brown. I like Malik Monk. I don't know how you'd pull that one off. It sounds like you'd have to add Mitchell Robinson to a trade like that. That seems completely and utterly idiotic, so I wouldn't want to see that. What about Sengun and Houston? Sengun's not getting moved. He's going to be there for a while. On top of that, is Mike Brown a similar coach? Isn't Mike... Well, so Mike Brown is a fully offensively minded head coach. When Mike Brown got fired from the Kings, I said in a video right after, this will not happen, but I would absolutely love to see the Knicks go out and hire him as an offensive coordinator. I think that would have been a great move for the Knicks, and they obviously didn't do it, and now it feels like Mike Brown's going to be the head coach of this team. A tweet that said, Matt, who you guys usually see on streams with me, just asked what the Nuggets just did. Jokic is sticking around in Denver, that's for sure. What are the Rockets going to do with Sengun, Capella, and Steven Adams? Well, they're going to trade one of them eventually. Karis LeVert going to Detroit. That was Malik Beasley's contract, so that's going to be interesting to see. Yeah, what do you guys think about these moves so far? What do you think is the biggest steal of free agency as we wait for the Knicks to make a move? Texting back, Matt, he's wondering about the Denver Nuggets. I thought the Nuggets made some genius moves. They cut that money out ended up with an MLE. Trade Harden, get Claxton. That will not happen. What about Keegan Murray? I don't really think the Kings are going to trade Keegan Murray because nobody trusts the Kings front office, right? And by nobody, I mean their fans, because the absolute malpractice that led to Tyrese Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox both getting traded and the Knicks not having a point guard. Does Brown have similar blind spots as Tibbs did in the playoffs? Sean, it's kind of backwards almost because Brown's an offensive head coach, but there are similarities for sure. There definitely are similarities between the two, but when it comes down to it, Brown's an offensively minded head coach, and they will run actual plays and stuff, which will be nice. But the defense will not make adjustments. It's like how Tibbs' offense doesn't make adjustments. Mike Brown's defense doesn't make adjustments. I don't want to see that and hope that Mitchell Robinson, OG, and Mikal bail us out the same way that we were hoping on offense that Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, along with Mitchell Robinson's offensive rebounding, will bail us out. Luka Garza to Boston. Ooh, interesting. That was a fruity ooh. Did that actually happen? I looked away from my phone. Oh yeah, you're right. 2 years, $5.5 million, fully guaranteed. Interesting. Boston, guys, are you here for the Boston fall off or what, man? I am loving this. I am here for the Boston downfall. I am at my biggest hater's funeral just to make sure that they're actually dead. It had to happen. I am absolutely loving this. I'm trying to think, do I have any fun animations to put on because of that? I'll try to find something. But Houston looks good, man. That's a good team. I don't know why they have Schengen, Capella, and Steven Adams. I guess Schengen's a power forward now because they want rim protection. I don't disagree with that argument. That's shooting with Amen Thompson, Clint Capella, because I imagine Capella will start, but Capella or Adams, I'll say, and Schengen out there. You're really banking on Fred VanVleet to shoot the ball well and for Kevin Durant to just Kevin Durant it all the way up on the perimeter. So that's going to be very, very interesting to see what goes down right there. Matt is commenting from the phone right now saying Luka Garza is still the homie. I actually love this move for the Nets to get Porter Jr. because they had the money and they got a draft pick for it and gave away a guy that they didn't need on their team anyway. I thought that was just genius move after genius move for the Nets right now. The Nets are... What's his name? Sean Marks is a good tanker, man. He's a good tanker. He really is. He's got that down. He's got the tanking down. Does Mike Brown use his bench? Mike Brown does use his bench. He does. The bench is in use with Mike Brown. I can tell you that much. Let's check the 2023 NBA playoffs. That's when they made it, right? Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but 2023 NBA playoff summary, that's when we saw, the Nuggets won, so that means the Kings were in the playoffs, and the Kings lost 4-3 to the Golden State Warriors. We'll go through these games just so we can talk about Mike Brown a little bit because he is going to be the next head coach of the Knicks. The Kings won that first game, 126-123. What did we see? We saw a 9-man rotation for the Warriors where 3 guys played 20-plus minutes off the bench. And then for the Kings, so the Kings and the Knicks will have a better bench than this. And mind you, this is a few years ago, so it was before Davion Mitchell was fully Davion Mitchell. But the Kings, their starters did play heavy minutes. De'Aaron Fox played 40 minutes, but again, it's the playoffs. We're going to see that. For reference, the Golden State Warriors that game, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson each played 37 minutes. So it's similar enough. I don't really care if players playing 40 minutes in the playoffs. It's the playoffs. You kind of just do it. Harrison Barnes played 36. Sabonis played 34. Kevin Huerter played 30. Keegan Murray played 15. Malik Monk played 28 minutes. Davion Mitchell played 21. Trey Lyles played 17. And Alex Len played 13. So we did see the first game instantly. Mike Brown used the bench. The second game, Mike Brown continued to use the bench. But it's a similar thing where Malik Monk played 31 minutes and Davion Mitchell played 28. But then it's kind of a drop-off. So Sabonis played 40, and Fox played 35, and Barnes played 33, and Herter played 30, and Keegan Murray played 16. So, again, he doesn't use the bench the same amount as Taylor Jenkins, but he does use it more than Thibodeau. I think you should give starters a lot of burn in that postseason, and I'm going through it right now. It's the same deal every single game. It's very similar. Like, they have a six-man who's getting a ton of minutes, more than anyone on the Knicks would get. And just to go over the minutes in a general sense when it comes down to Mike Brown, did not mean for that to rhyme, but I did kind of get excited at it, as you guys could probably tell from the cadence of my voice when that happened. What is this ad right now? Basketball reference in these damn ads. Yeah, so the Warriors in that series against the Kings, Steph Curry averaged 39 minutes per game. And mind you, the Sacramento Kings in that time, when you look at the minutes for the Kings, where's that average? We need that average. De'Aaron Fox averaged 38. So it's similar high minutes for your point guard. Brunson's going to play a lot of minutes regardless, as long as that's the coach of the team. Now, at the same time, what we can also look at, because they were in the same playoffs with head coach Taylor Jenkins, is we could also look at the other playoff series, and that is with Taylor Jenkins, the only other guy who might be the coach when it comes down to the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, as we know, the Grizzlies lost a 2-7 series to the Los Angeles Lakers, but the Lakers had Bron in 2023, who was still great, and he still is great now, and Anthony Davis, who's great. So the Lakers won that series in 6. It's not really as much of an upset as a 2-7 usually is, just because, again, LeBron and AD, what are you going to do? Wow, LeBron, whopping 19% from 3 that series. Electric. But the Lakers, LeBron played 37 at 38 years old, 37 minutes a night. AD played 36. We look at the Grizzlies, most minutes played. Desmond Bane played 38. Ja played 37. Jaren Jackson played 36. So in the playoffs, these guys are going to play heavy minutes. It's more of a matter on the regular season. Wow, we got some nice comments. Let's go, as I just read off minutes. Now, what about Kobe White? Kobe White we would have to try for in a trade. I do think the Knicks do have interest, though, as far as I know. Houston is an old team. Yeah, they are. When does Clarkson clear waivers? I want to say not tonight. Grab Kennard before someone else does. So, Soul Trade. I would love Luke Kennard. I'm a huge advocate for the Knicks going for Luke Kennard. The thing is, if Clarkson wants that MLE, the Knicks are going to favor Jordan Clarkson and then try to bring back Landry Shamet, or even bring in like a Seth Curry for that shooting role, which I know they're not exactly the same position as Kennard, but still, that's what they'd likely more do. Nikhil Alexander-Walker to Atlanta. I did mention Atlanta as one of those potential teams. So, 4 years, $62 million. See, too much of the Knicks would get. So, I was busy reading minutes. I'm an idiot. But to go to that one Kings playoff team in the last 551 years, they went 48-38 with Mike Brown as the head coach. Mike Brown, if I'm not mistaken, won Coach of the Year that season. I'm going to fact check myself very quickly on that. He was also born in Germany, which is fun. Or did he not win Coach of the Year? Did he not? No, he definitely did. Yeah, 2023, he won Coach of the Year. Of course he did. It was a great year for them. And for Mike Brown. But he's not a good head coach long term. That's the issue. The offensive rating got worse for the Kings after that year. Things got bad. The defensive rating was still negative, even though they were 14 games over 500 and won their division. Their pace was good. But we look at Mike Brown. They had the most points per game. Their opponent points per game were incredibly high. It was just a team that played with a lot of pace, a lot of possessions. That stuff's going to happen. I believe, did De'Aaron Fox, was that the season he had that 60 ball? I know he had like a near 60-point game, if not a 60-point game, one of these seasons. But the most minutes played in the regular season, which is important to note when it comes to Mike Brown, only 3 guys on that Kings team played over 30 minutes tonight. Sabonis played 34, De'Aaron Fox played 33, and Harrison Barnes played 32. So Mike Brown upped the minutes, but not until the playoffs. So we have to look at that as well when we look at this whole thing and kind of understand what's going down with the whole situation, which I think is important as well to be aware of. That, yeah, Keegan Murray played basically 30 minutes a night, and Kevin Huerter played 29, but that's so much farther of a step down from what Tom Thibodeau was putting these guys through that I don't really find it to be like a huge, terrifying issue, if you ask me. I just think he's got some blind spots. I think Mike Brown does not assess his defense properly the same way Tibbs didn't assess his offense properly. I think Taylor Jenkins won't do either of those things. So I would like Taylor Jenkins. Hi, Joey Bello. I am the game. I make the rules. I want Giannis. Turn on that trade override, man. Clarkson can't sign till like Wednesday. Yeah, that would make sense. Alec can hit the three better than Shamet. I'm not against Alec Burks coming back, ever. I will never be against Alec Burks coming back. We should have hired Mike Malone. Mike Malone is very similar to Tibbs. Incredibly high minutes and favoring older players. Giannis will join the Knicks tomorrow morning. I guarantee it. I do not believe that's going to happen. If you ask me personally, I do not expect that. Do not expect Giannis to be a Knick anytime soon, my friend. Hawks said Porzingis plus Noah came away from the offseason with extra draft assets because of draft day with the Pelicans. Incredible work, facts. Great work by the team. Good job. Good job by the Hawks. That'll be interesting. Things are getting exciting, guys. People think the Hawks are going to win the East. Good one. Can we get anything for McBride? I mean, we could, but he's on such a great contract, and the Knicks are trying to stay away from that second apron that I don't think they'd have interest in trading Deuce McBride. It's one of those things where if you had to trade him for like a certain player, they would, but outside of that, they don't. What percentage chance do we have to win the NBA Finals in 2026? Right now, we have the second best odds, but the Thunder are the far and away favorites right now. I'd say the Thunder have a good 20-25% chance. The Knicks are second at like 13, I'd say. When 34 comes to New York, I'm unsubbing so fast. Okay. Dude, I was like, what? Because obviously, like, sarcasm doesn't come over in text form usually. So I was like, how does that make sense? How's that my fault that you didn't want Giannis or something? Maybe I'm just an idiot. Trey Mann, interesting restricted free agent. Restricted free agent for sure. I would not mind the Knicks looking at Trey Mann. So I have a question with all these teams hitting the cap. Is it basically like the only team you could dump salary to is the Brooklyn Nets? Yeah, but they've taken a lot of salary dumps so far, so they don't have that much money left. Already, they've taken a lot of dumps. They call them dumps. Big, massive dumps. I hope someone gets that reference. That was a great Donald Trump meme back in the day. Back in the old days. In like 2020 or something. That was hilarious. But it does feel like Clarkson's going to happen. It's just going to be interesting to see how the Knicks go about this whole thing. Would Brown be an upgrade over Tibbs? I think year one, Mike Brown would be an upgrade over Tibbs. I don't think long term Mike Brown's going to be any different than Tibbs. But year one, yes. And maybe in year one they do win a championship. I don't think he's that great of a head coach. I really don't think so. I think he's good. Isn't Trey Mann a Brooklyn Net? No, he was on the Hornets last year, and he's a restricted free agent this year. I'm interested in seeing what happens with Russ. I really do think it's going to be interesting what happens with Russ. Guys, want to know what's funny? 6 years ago today, Adrian Wojnarowski tweeted out, Brooklyn is making a clean sweep tonight. Brooklyn will sign Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and DeAndre Jordan. And then outside of that, what we saw 3 years after that and 3 years ago was the Knicks signed Jalen Brunson. And Jalen Brunson got farther. A 6'2" second-round pick got farther than that whole Kevin Durant Nets team. The Cavs scare me for next year. The Cavs scare me too, but the Cavs are historic underachievers with this team. Now, Jordan Clarkson is one of the best scorers off the bench in history, averaging 15.4 points per game off the bench, the most of any player ever. I wonder where Precious goes. I'm very curious where Precious goes. I know where it's not going to be. The Knicks. That's not going to happen. Precious is not going to be a New York Knick again. He's going to leave. That is a guarantee from here. Cam Thomas and MPJ sharing the floor next year is going to be cinema. That'll be funny. The one thing the Lakers have is Jake LaRavia, who, wow, has some... That cannot be the actual Twitter of Jake LaRavia, guys. That cannot be. Which Pacers players make the Knicks the stronger? Can only be Siakam. Siakam or Nesmith. That's my guess. Miles Turner. 100% Miles Turner. They need a center. Siakam also might be better than Miles Turner. You could pick that too. Like, obviously Siakam's a better player than Miles Turner, but for the Knicks, I mean. The Cavs going to be best in the East. Detroit up there too. I think Detroit's going to get a little bit worse not having Malik Beasley. Dude, I'm trying to figure out if this Jake LaRavia Twitter stuff is real. If you look up Jake LaRavia's name, he's got some interesting tweets. He's got some interesting tweets. That boy wants to goon. Luke Cornett getting paid. Good for him. Yep, Cornett got paid. Neesmith. I think Neesmith fits well with the Knicks as well, but I'd rather that big man. I'd rather bring in Miles Turner, get a little 5-out go, and bring in Mitch off the bench. You got elite shot blocking the entire time. That is what I prefer. Mike Brown's the offensive version of Tibbs. I would say that it's more Mike Malone's the offensive version of Tibbs, and Mike Brown is just very similar to both of them because he's a very classic head coach. And I want the younger guy. I want a younger head coach. I don't want an older head coach. I want a young guy. I want a young gun. We're probably going to roll this out till 8:30 because, well, frankly, I'm just what it feels like is happening right now. It seems like the moves are quieting down a bit. Obviously, the second I turn this off, things will just go and take a left. Ty Jerome got paid. He would have been perfect for the Knicks. Yeah, Jerome got too much money. That wasn't the most shocking thing in the world. I mentioned in a video I did that I would like the Ty Jerome signing. He did struggle in the playoffs mightily, which I think scared some people off and might have lost him a bit of money, but still too much for the Knicks to pay. The Grizzlies could afford him. It is what it is. Grizzlies kind of retooling that roster. Tyus Jones has agreed to a 1-year, $7 million deal with the Orlando Magic. Interesting. Jones is off the board. Did we dodge a bullet on KD? Yes. We did dodge a bullet on KD, and the reason we dodged a bullet on KD is because the Knicks want Giannis, and they're not going to give him any assets for anyone who's not Giannis. They're just not going to do that. It's not going to happen. You should let go. It's all in my head. I love that the Celtics might have to roll out Luka Garza as a starter next year. That's going to be hilarious. That is going to be absolutely funny. Where do we think DeAndre Ayton's ending up? Is he the Lakers' move? Is he who they got? Is that what's next? Schroeder is not available. Schroeder signed with the Sacramento Kings very quickly into free agency. He was one of the first signings. If the Knicks would keep one of their assistant coaches and make them the head coach, which I know they're not going to do, how come no one has mentioned Maurice Cheeks? People mentioned Johnny Bryant. I think because Johnny Bryant became so famously like that heir apparent to Tibbs, if Tibbs was to retire from the Knicks, and then Bryant left because Tibbs signed an extension, meaning he wasn't going anywhere, and Bryant decided to go team back up with his good buddy Donovan Mitchell. And Moses Brown to the Lakers, I could see that one happening, but that is not good enough for them. They need a real center. So we'll see how that one goes down. The Jake LaRavia tweets are from May. He was hacked then, but he never deleted them. Okay, that makes sense. It doesn't sound like something an NBA player would be dumb enough to do. Like, even if you've had too many drinks or something, I don't know how you could mess that up so badly. Like, someone's going to tell. Your agent is going to be on that. So, I don't know why he hasn't deleted them. That's really idiotic of him. He's stupid. They should have signed Moses Brown. Moses Brown is still a free agent. You never know. It's always possible. The fact that the Nets have an unprotected first from a team that's gonna be after the Jokic era is crazy. Is Westbrook coming? Westbrook damn well might come here. It's very, very possible that Russell Westbrook does end up on the New York Knicks. I wouldn't be shocked to see it at all. I think it'd be a good move. I'm very interested in seeing what goes down. Dude, Luka really got thrown into an awful situation with the Lakers right here. This is crazy. This is crazy. I think the G League roster could have filled a lot of bench needs. I think the G League roster was excellent as well. I liked it a lot. Dude, I'm happy that I was able to teach anyone what this first or second apron meant. I'll definitely rerun through it again this year during free agency, just because we have more subscribers than we did last summer, and we had around like 8,000 last year. Now we have 18. So thank you all so much for the subscriptions. It means a lot to me. I do think, I wish we traded 38 for Kobe Bryant. Dude, that one's killing me. The lack of trading up for Bryant really, it really upsets me. I was trying to find like a funny saying where I wouldn't curse because I don't want to get demonetized. I only ever really cursed once on this channel, and that was after they got eliminated from the playoffs because people were accusing me of not being a Knicks fan. I kind of was looking forward to Kolek take. Yeah, I don't know why they're so against Kolek. I think they just want guys who are ready for the moment, is my guess. But Kolek's 24 years old, and I believe in him personally. I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. Clarkson being a combo guard could lead to Kolek getting minutes. Oh, man. I gotta charge my phone. I love picking up Huckporty's option. Yeah, they'll get Huckporty on a contract extension, too. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. We'll have Huckporty around. The Knicks do like Huckporty. They like all these rookies. I'm really curious, dude, because they're gonna make a move soon. I know they're not making a move because Jordan Clarkson's on waivers still. They're waiting till he clears waivers because he might want that mid-level exception. They don't want to botch that because he's one of the best sixth men in NBA history. So they're very, very scared of botching it. That's what's happening. I'm not saying that I have inside. Sometimes I do have inside information on things. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. I don't have any inside information on Jordan Clarkson outside of the stuff that's been tweeted out, so it's not inside information. The Knicks clearly want Clarkson. Clarkson wants to go to the Knicks, but what if they sign someone to the mid-level exception and Clarkson's like, what? Like, what? I thought that was mine. Like, y'all just screwed me. Now I have to look elsewhere, and I'm not signing with y'all because I thought we had, like, an unspoken agreement here, but apparently we don't. So, they have to be, they're scared of it. They're clearly scared of that happening. So whoever they sign, it's likely going to be a minimum deal. I'm actually surprised because of that we haven't seen Landry Shamet get re-signed. That's kind of what I'm surprised at, but I think they're also still interested in getting Kennard. I think if the Knicks could get both Kennard and Jordan Clarkson, they'd freak out, being thrilled. So I think it's one of those situations that's going to be interesting. The Rockets are not going to move Sengun ever. They love Sengun. What happened to TJ Warren? When the Knicks signed PJ Tucker, TJ Warren got upset because he thought that was his spot. Didn't end up being his spot, so he left the Westchester Knicks entirely and stopped playing for them because he got upset, which is honestly kind of fair. What was I going to look up? What was I going to look up, boys? It was something about basketball. It's definitely basketball related. All right. At 8:30, we're probably going to call this one. Because frankly, I'm just losing my voice. If I wasn't losing my voice, I'd stay on here longer, but I am losing my voice, and obviously there's going to be a ton of videos to make. Also, I do have other channels. Yankees, Knicks, Jets, Digest, sometimes other channels. Whatever coach we... Mike Brown will play rookies. He will do that. So, I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah. All right. Crunch time, baby. All right, what do we got? Anything new? Does Mikal get extended? I think they're having a long, hard discussion about what to do with Mikal Bridges. I think it's going to be a long, hard discussion for that. So, Why do people not like Ball? I think because he hasn't worked out on multiple teams. It's probably the thought. Or it's a personal thing. I'm not saying there is. I'm just saying that maybe. Just maybe that's the reason. Well, guys, the Knicks are really boring us right now. Maybe Leon is asleep. Is he sleepy Leon right now, man? Is he sleepy Leon? We are getting Clarkson, and we should be happy about Clarkson. But still. I think it has been agreed to. I think the Knicks and Clarkson will have a sign. I think that happens. I think it does happen. I think it happens Wednesday if that's when he clears waivers. The second he clears waivers, it's gonna be a tweet from Shams that says effectively, or maybe it'll be a Knicks beat reporter because of this, but be one of the two. Jordan Clarkson has cleared waivers and is planning on signing a contract with the New York Knicks, and then according to his agents or whatever, that's what's gonna come out. Guaranteed in the next 48 hours. Less than that. He got bought out. Guaranteed in the next 40 hours. We see 40 to 42 hours. Whenever. I don't know how long ago he got bought out. I don't remember the exact time. But that's what it's going to say. It's going to say Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson has cleared waivers and intends on signing with the New York Knicks. He signs with the Knicks. It's all good, all happy, all fun. We're all thrilled. We all have a good time. It's going to be interesting, guys. I'm checking up. Any more news? Any more news? Well, guys, the news, there's been a couple things of news. One, the pasta that's being cooked in my apartment is done. The other news is that the Knicks have not made any signings, and that sucks. But we will be back. We're going to be on stream a lot. Wow, my green screen was just not working right there. We're going to be back a lot throughout doing some streams. We'll obviously have that Friday stream as well as usual. Happy Hour will return this Friday. This Friday is July 4th. Happy Hour will be on Thursday, most likely again, because I'm not going to be home at that's 6 p.m. on a Friday. That's July 4th. I'm going to be at the beach, dude. I hate that I'm not. I'm sorry. I don't want to seem like I don't care about this, but it's going to be a million degrees, and sometimes you just got to go to the beach. And I work really hard. I work every day on this, so I hope I'm not letting anyone down. We'll still have a live stream a few different times. We'll go live probably 2 other times this week. Probably go live tomorrow as well. And then Thursday. Day 2 of free agency. Day 3. Or day 4 maybe. Maybe also day 3. We might go live every day this week. Even on July 4th. I might go live at 2 p.m. So we'll definitely have a lot more live streams. I know you guys, most of you probably don't have work on Friday, on July 4th. So if you're out barbecuing, or I guess we live in New York City, so a lot of us won't be barbecuing. I'll be down in Rockaway. Better not get Westbrook. He's a title repellent. I just think he's tough to pair with on teams, and Russell Westbrook does not fit on this team whatsoever. So I don't want to see it at all. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. That's another live stream out. Have a great day. Go Knicks.